Can everyone hear me? Awesome. I hope the audio is at a good level today because I've been messing around with it. I've been messing around with the audio today. I'm very sorry if I sound kind of wrong. I don't know, blame God. Um, yeah, blame God. Sure. He's old. Don't call me British, please. Like, if you don't hate me, don't call me British. Excellent work. Everything's up. Tea. Don't treat me like a repository of tea. You know, maybe sometimes, guys, I come with important information that can impact the industry. Who am I fucking kidding? I'm a dipshit. The tea, motherfucker. Anyway, I've been trying to hold on to this story for ages. What is it better than webtoons or graphic novels? Olafemi, there's only one answer to that question. The answer is the same every single time. Neither. They're like the same quality level. Hey, Fruit Tarts. I've seen your comments. So I could swear I've seen your comments. So I'm glad that you showed up live. Thank you. Your comments are always valuable, and so is your live presence. But we're not talking about webtoons and graphic novels. We're talking about graphic novels and manga. So, and yeah, one of those people that says manga instead of manga. And if you hate it, fuck you. Right? I need to start gauging my reactions to things to be a little bit more like normal. I forgot to reply to somebody in my DMs. What day is it? Okay, it's been 2 days. Manga. Let's go. Okay, I gotta open a bit of my chat, and guys, we haven't had a show like this in ages, but let's do this. Hello, internet. Welcome to Game. Oh wait, this is the wrong show. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the Webcomics Hubcast. I'm Nen, your dickhead supreme, your leader in queef. I was gonna say commander in queef, but I think that's a stolen joke. And today's welcome to the Webcomics Hubcast, season 3, episode 5. On this day, this auspicious day, my birthday. It's my birthday today because it's currently the 19th of March in the UK. It's currently the 19th of March in the UK. So yeah, and that's why I was late, because I was not gonna lie, I was late for a lot of reasons. I was late for my many millions of reasons, as is consistently the case for me. What do I want for my birthday? Peace, love, and more patrons, so that I could quit my job. More patrons on patreon.com/webcomicshub. Anyway, so today, guys, we have a bunch of topics to talk about. Last week was great because we had like a nice little rambly stream. Today, I'll buy the cake, Tyler. Sorry, in my chat, my assistant Tyler keeps trying to get me to buy cake. I'll buy the cake, Tyler. Fine. Anyway, last week we had a brilliant rambly stream, but that was because I was doing a little bit of a look into a company called Webcomics app, and we'll get to that in a second. But before I get to that, I want to talk to you guys about something completely inconsequential, meaningless, and largely just because I think it's kind of funny. So do you guys remember, like, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably don't, but if you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen this. Hold on one second, just gotta hide something. You might have seen this. This tweet I made at webcomics_hub on Twitter, always be plugging. And this tweet I made about solo leveling. The solo leveling book, which I own and I hate. I really don't like it. Patrons got to see this really early, and then before I changed my mind, I tweeted it everywhere. I've been making a lot of short videos for the Patreon, and part of making short videos was I was thinking about this comic, I was thinking about this book that I'd spend money on, and I had a lot of thoughts to share about it. And I gave like a really big breakdown as to why I think it's bad, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing about this tweet. Very few people cared that I had a negative opinion on this, but the people who did were arguing with me on the basis of effort. Like that it takes a lot of effort to make it. And I'm only putting this here to just say, we need to stop treating multi-million-dollar companies like people. Like Red Ice, the studio that made this, Red Ice, is not a studio run by like five guys in a garage. It's a multi-million-dollar franchise. They could afford to make a better book. Can we just like acknowledge that? That's okay. It's okay to be mad at Red Eyes. We don't have to pretend like it's just because they did the effort. That's enough. I don't know. I feel like that's a low bar. Because like for me personally, I spent $30 on this book and it pissed me off. I was going to start with something completely irrelevant, completely non sequitur, completely low value because I think it's funny. I think it's funny that like anybody had a problem with the fact that I didn't like the book. You just, I don't know, like it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. It's not like I was attacking some small indie creator, but maybe I should. Next time, guys, next time on the Webcomics Hubcast, I'm going to attack a small indie creator. I'm probably going to attack Paige because she's an easy target. People kept bringing up the Lore Olympus book. And I'm not a fan of that book either, but I am going to buy it. I do really like Lore Olympus as well. That's the worst part. I really like Lore Olympus as a comic, but I think the book kind of sucks. And I don't know. Maybe when I have it in my hands, I'll change my mind. In other news, I have the Global Comics app. The app is real, kids. It's real. If you didn't see my tweet about it, here's your information. Remember, I talked about Global Comics maybe a couple of times in the channel. I'm going to talk about them one more time to just say that I have the app. I am using the app, and I have thoughts about how I'm using the app, but I cannot tell you anything more than that. My assistant also has it, and she cannot tell you any thoughts on the app, but we can tell you that we have it. And I can say something. The app is not out for everyone. The app is only out for some of us. I'm like one of the closed press release people. And I can also say, to be very upfront, that not talking about the app, talking about the treatment when being given the app, I feel like I've been treated really well when given this app. I'm going to be clear, Chris is not paying me to say this. He doesn't even know I'm going to say this. But I feel like I've been treated really well when given the app. I was given a very good breakdown of what to expect when I was given it, and my opinions whenever I made complaints were taken seriously. So I wanted to be clear that like I think anything I say about the app when the embargo lifts, which is soon enough, it will be genuine and from the heart. It will include anything negative and anything positive, because the environment allows me to be negative and positive. And I'm just saying that just to let you know. So when they'll probably make a video, or I'll probably live stream in the middle of the week, and I'll just show you how the app works if he'll let me. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. Make it known. Now we can get to important shit. And the first important thing I want to hit on is, y'all seen that tweet? Have y'all seen that tweet? You guys know the tweet I'm talking about. Have y'all seen the "it's actually so fucking over" tweet? It's my favorite tweet in the whole world. I love it. I love it. It's so unnecessarily petty. This is the tweet made by Ursula. I don't know how to say her last name, but made by Ursula, and it's basically like just a conversation about it. The main point of this tweet was a conversation about how much more popular manga is than graphic novels and American comics, and just what we would consider a general English-speaking comic, right? And and I've seen a lot of takes from this. I did not engage in the discourse. I try not to engage in discourse on Twitter anymore because I think it's a waste of time. But the thing is, I've seen a lot of discussion on this. I've seen a lot of thoughts on this, and the thing is, it's not a thing that's only true in like small bookstores. It's true even in like specialty manga bookstores. When I talked about going to Denmark a few videos ago, you should go watch that video. I was in a place called Faro Cigar. By the way, thanks to Thanks a lot to Zam and Alvin for wishing me happy birthday. Y'all are cringe. Anyway, so I was in a place called Fado Cigar, which is like a specialty comic book store place. They sell comics. The whole deal is we sell comics, we sell manga, we sell art books, right? And like even there, 99% of the place was like manga. And there's some graphic novels, and the conversation I've seen around this is numerous, and I feel like everyone has thoughts about this. My thoughts around this are pretty simple. I think the reason why there would ever be such a disparity, even in one bookstore like this, is a couple things. One, manga has enjoyed, for better or for worse, in their opinion, unlimited free marketing for like 20 years in the English-speaking environment. You know, we've all been on Manga Fox, mangareader.net, you know, Manga Dex, Manga Doom, fucking, I know all the websites, you know, y'all know Manga Fox, like y'all know the OGs, y'all know Manga Kakalot, formerly Manga Kakarot, y'all know Manga Panda, you know, and manga has enjoyed an unbridled amount of free marketing from nerds who want to read it, who keep translating it for other nerds who want to read it, along with the free accessibility. Like you could go up there and read any manga you wanted. The ability to just read any manga you want is such a like powerful thing. I want you to imagine this now. Imagine you could read any single comic you wanted for free, any of them for free right now. Would it change your relationship with how often you buy physical copies? Right? I think that's one of the main reasons. The other reason is accessibility. And I don't mean accessibility in terms of like the content, although that's one of the problems. I mean accessibility in terms of like manga as a whole is just so much easier to get a hold of. Like if I want to get an issue 1 of Saga these days, impossible, fucking impossible, right? The cost and price and everything of the book is of the issue is just not being made anymore. If I want to get, I got a bunch of number ones though of a bunch of manga when I was in Denmark, and like you know I have the number 1 for like Beastars now. I have number 1 for Seven Deadly Sins, and like you might be like, well, what are you trying to get at here? Why are you focusing on number 1? That's what I mean is just like the accessibility of any individual part of any individual volume, issue, whatever of manga is so much higher than the accessibility of any individual issue of a comic book, of any comic book. For example, and I'm going to ask a very genuine question. Stop looking at your drawing tablets and answer this question for me. Do any of you know that Superboy, John Kent, just got a reboot issue out, like literally the past 2 weeks? Do any of you know that? Genuine question. John Kent, Superman's son, Superboy, John Kent, the gay one, the bisexual one, sorry. He just got a reboot of his comic. Do you know? Yes or no? That's all I need in the comments. Post in the chat, yes or no. Yeah, the bi one. Like there's a new John Kent. Yeah. Y'all don't, but see, it's not about keeping up with DC stuff. You guys don't keep up with fucking what's going on with Oda, the creator of One Piece. None of you fucking read One Piece because you have lives, you have friends, you have things that matter to you in your life. None of you fucking read One Piece. But like, if I told you that the One Piece author brought out a new manga tomorrow, you fucking know. Because like, when shit happens in manga, it's like talked about a lot more, not just by press, but like in a way that's very accessible. It's never, the conversation isn't, oh, John Kent, the superhero from 2 comics ago, recently got a reboot that wiped his entire backstory. It's, there is a new IP from the creator of this IP that you like. The one person who said, I know what's going on. Like, the way that manga and graphic novels are conversed about in the industry is so different. Like, I was looking to, part of the research for this episode, I was looking at Bleeding Cool, In fact, I'm going to show you what I was looking at. So I was on Bleeding Cool. I love Bleeding Cool. It's like one of my favorite websites other than CBR and all that stuff. But like, that's a lie, not CBR. Bleeding Cool, then women writing comics, reading women writing about comics, then CBR. Anyway, so like, I'm looking like this is Bleeding Cool's comic section, and I'm only showing it to make a point, right? They're basically showing everything today in comics. They have like a thing where they give you a rundown of every single comic thing that's happening, right? And it's like the conversations are like, you will see conversations about, this is Superman #2. I think it's the one that's new with the John Kent thing, the John Kent reboot. But you'll see the conversations around comics are basically comic number 10, number 5, number 56, number 245. Like this isn't a fault on them. It's just the nature of talking about graphic novels, about American comics, is one in which the conversation is established IP number 5 billion is bringing out a new version of established IP number 5 billion. Like, that's what it is, right? The conversation is never, hey, the people who made Batman Incorporated are now making fucking new IP, like new shit, like brand new shit. You know, the conversation is established IP from 1946 is getting issue number 5 billion for the 6 billionth time, wherein new character has been rebooted into a parallel universe where now instead of being a superhero, he fucks pigs. Like that's the space of conversations about comics on the internet, right? And when it's manga, it's like the creator of Sailor Moon brings out new IP, and it's a whole new IP, not based in the Sailor universe. She does something new. She makes something interesting. It's not bringing back the AU from that AU with this AU, where Spider-Man is actually in the Foundation 5, or is it for the something foundation, the Future Foundation. It's not that. Like it's literally new stuff. It's one of the reasons why one of the most commercially successful comic books of a while was the Japanese release of Spider-Man called Fake Red, where it was just such a new story that it was not even Spider-Man anymore. In a lot of ways, it was like truer to the heart of Spider-Man, but so different. And I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's the situation. That's like, these are the things, in my opinion, that contribute to manga's popularity. It's more accessible. It's easier to talk about. It's enjoyed years of free advertising, you know, like purely free advertising, where you could read any manga you wanted, whenever you wanted, thanks to the effort of a bunch of strangers on the internet. And I just think comics will have a hard time competing with that. Also, whenever a manga gets popular, it brings out a TV show that's also super accessible. But that TV show is made with the understanding that like it's there to sell more copies of the manga. So like there's a relationship that, like, you know, the industry has with itself, with its external IP, with its spin-off IPs, you know, its adaptations, that I don't think comics have anymore. Although I think they're trying to get back into that. I recently watched is it Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur? That show? Surprised that show even got made with the name Devil Dinosaur. I am shocked. I am shocked that a Disney Channel show has the word devil in it. Like, we're really living in the future, kids. I can think of the 1990s, seeing the words Devil Dinosaur on the screen, and my mother immediately losing her mind. It would make me go crazy instantly. Also, yeah, I think another thing is manga is very isolated. Like, most mangas occur in their own environment. They don't have a lot of overlap with other manga. There's no like, it's not often you have like an MCU style manga where like there are 5 different issues that all tie into each other. One guy makes a thing, one guy, one lady, one person makes a thing, and then that manga pretty much runs in its own bubble. All the stories within its own bubble. You get all of your peace of mind reading that entire thing to conclusion, because everything should conclude within that bubble. It's just, I don't know, it's a symptom, I think, of like, I guess, Americanized media in general as well. Because not just in comics this happens. I don't know if any of you watch Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian. But the Mandalorian, Mandalorian had like a big plot line that was started in Mandalorian and concluded in another show. And then new Mandalorian, people don't want to watch it because because like, you know, they didn't see the conclusion of that storyline. And I guess it's just, it's so dumb. Alvin's like hard to care about characters who lives and dies all the time. Plus, there are so many parallel universes to keep up with. I don't even think that parallel universe thing is that big of a deal, but I do think it's a big deal. I agree. Jenny Toon, any spin-off mangas that happen still follow the same themes, universes, and ideas. Yeah, it never feels like. Look, I'm a giant fucking like comic fan, right? But like, I too think it's annoying that we had to deal as a Spider-Man fan. I think it's annoying that we had to deal with the Clone Saga. That was bullshit. Explaining the Clone Saga to my friends, explaining the Clone Saga to myself was so bad that I stopped fucking reading Spider-Man until Superior Spider-Man came up. I just stopped. It was not worth it for me to like keep up with that shit. Someone's like, keeping up with the whole universe over multiple authors and artists starts to feel like homework after a while. Yeah, it does. Feels like I'm doing a fucking book report, right? Feels like it's doing a book report. There have been so many American IPs that have been done to death. Still keep getting more content made. True, that's another thing. I think it's also IP exhaustion. Everyone is tired of talking about Spider-Man. They're wrong to be tired of talking about Spider-Man because Spider-Man is the best thing to come to comics ever. And if you're tired of talking about Spider-Man, you need to get yourself checked. But I get it. Like, you know, I'm a little tired of talking about Spider-Man too. I get it. You're wrong, but I get it, you know? But like, yeah, you're right. We've had enough Batman. We've had enough Superman. We've had enough Fantastic Four, if anyone even reads their fucking comics. You know, like, we need to give more room to new IPs. I think one of the things really killing media in quote unquote the West is that we don't give a lot of room to new IPs. Like, I'm looking at graphic novels. I was when I was in Fantask in Denmark. I was looking at graphic novels. One thing that really stood out to me was I was asking the lady, you know, how younger people, older people, how they access comics, and she was like, they buy, you know, young people like access comics too, but they always buy established stuff. And like for me, it makes me think that like the kids are just doing the thing of I'm either going to go with what's familiar or I'm going to go with something that looks new, because like keeping up with anything that's anywhere in between those two things, anything that's like not perfectly the most popular and not the newest is just work, and I don't want to do it. Gatekeeping is also a big problem, but like I don't think it's that big of a problem in comics anymore, at least not among young people. So any comics that do different things with existing IPs are often indie, like the Superman comic with the cat. Yeah. Or like, it says a lot that the most interesting Batman has been in the past like 20 years is on Webtoon. Like it just says a lot that the most interesting Batman has been is on Webtoon. Like it's that comic when the Joker comes back to being Jack Napier, and then Batman has to deal with the fact that he falls in love with Harley Quinn, blah blah blah, all that shit, and the Webtoon version of it. I should say that's not true for all of them. Zatanna used to be more interesting before Webtoon. And what's the other one that's on Webtoon right now? What's the other Webtoon comic? It starts with a V. Vixen, I think. Fuck, what's it called? Yeah, we're talking about Western comics, Demidot. Because we're talking about a tweet that was really funny. I'm not saying. Look, the thing is, I think you're misunderstanding a little bit, Demidot. I'm not saying that they're not interesting. They can be interesting. There are stories in there that are worth having, but like, it's Vixen I'm thinking of. But like IPs themselves, the IP, the characters, those specific people, you can get so exhausted of them that no matter how new, interesting, and fun the story is, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. In my opinion, that happens a lot. And that's one of the reasons of exhaustion for these things. People are just tired of reading the same IPs. I'm tired of reading Batman. You know, give me a new guy, name him fucking Penis Breath or whatever, and have him fly around on a boat that looks like that. Marvel and DC ought to have those contests like Shonen Jump. Yeah, to make it more accessible to get to see new IP. The biggest problem is the distribution of Western comics. Not really. Like I don't know what you think about distribution, Demi Dot, but pre-COVID, pre-Diamond Publishing shooting itself in the fucking face, getting comics was like so fucking easy that it was a joke. Like getting, certain accessing older issues was hard, but like just getting comics was easy. Getting comics is easy. It's very easy. And in the age of Amazon, it's so easy. So what's happening is people aren't inspired enough to purchase them. People aren't inspired enough to purchase them because IP exhaustion, which is a very common problem in creative spaces that continue to milk the same IP for 60 years. Like, when was the last time you saw an old IP in the manga space that's being rebooted? I don't think anything gets rebooted in manga. Okay, no. Legends of Arslan got rebooted, and Legend of the Galactic Heroes got rebooted. But that's the only ones I can think of. What else got rebooted? Can't think of one. Genuinely, I can't think of one. Maybe there's one I don't know. Maybe Sailor Moon got rebooted and I don't know. But I can't think of one for sure. Those are like my points. I don't know. Maybe you guys all disagree. Maybe I'm really wrong, but yeah, okay, fair enough. Astro Boy. Fair enough. Fine. I'll give you Astro Boy. It is Astro Boy. But like Ultraman? Wait, did you say Gridman and Ultraman? Let me see. Ultraman got rebooted? Oh shit. You right. Manga just gets unnecessary sequels like Boruto. How could you? Okay, Boruto isn't unnecessary. I'm sorry, I have to say it. All right. I had to say it. I had to be the one to say it. I don't like Boruto, but I fucking finally decided to give it a chance. And I still don't like it, but it has new things to say. It has new things to say. Dororo. Okay, yeah, Dororo was a reboot. IP exhaustion is a thing in manga. Yeah, a deep Dragon Ball is dying in IP exhaustion. Dragon Ball is absolutely fucking dying in IP exhaustion, and I'll never fight that. I'll never even fight that. Generation Xerox. Let me see. There's something else that has prevented me from getting into Western comics and graphic novels. That it feels very men focused. You're right. Like, I think it's very interesting to me that one of the things, like, because somebody, I don't remember who it was that told me, but women are the biggest readers of comics. Women are the biggest readers of comics. It is shocking to me that the most advertised comic in the world is, and forgive me for using this example, but I just mean it as more of like even if we're talking like on a base level, but we're talking about the most advertised comic in the world isn't Betty and Veronica. Like, that's wild to me. Like, if we're talking like serialized, consistent IP that hasn't exhausted itself, I am surprised to this day that Betty and Veronica is not on fucking billboards everywhere. You know, that there isn't a Betty and that there isn't still an Archie show, that Josie and the Pussycats still doesn't make TV, that like all those old 80s comics that became TV shows aren't still running because those were way more women focused. You might say that they were shallow in their focus on women, and that's totally true, but they were way more women focused than 90% of what we get these days. That's weird. I don't know, that's weird to me. To be fair, there's actually quite a bit of other IPs in Western comics, but I don't know. I think you can kind of tell from discussion that a lot of people, when they say Western comics, don't mean Marvel and DC. I mean DC, Marvel, Image, and not Image as much, because they do a lot more reboots. But I mean DC and Marvel mostly because like they're the ones who set the pace. They set the tone. And also, the industry is really bad at marketing new shit. Like, Boom Studios bringing out Berserk was great. It was a new IP. But then why do they have to put Keanu Reeves on it? I guess for the marketing. But then at the same time, like, why do they have to market it the way they did? They're a studio with enough money to put out a comic and make cash. Marketing it through Kickstarter took up a valuable space that was meant for the indie community. And also, they didn't keep that energy. And that sucks to me. I don't know. That sucks to me. They didn't keep that energy. I don't even know. I think there's a new Berserk coming out. I think. No, not that Berserk. Berserk with the BRZRK. The the Boom Studios comic. I see mostly reboots with anime, but it's usually readapting a series that had a so-so adaptation or an unfinished one originally. Yeah, like, completing a series is all right. But I don't know. That's where I ended up with that. Like, I think for me, I was so unsatisfied recently with that tweet made me so unsatisfied with comics because I love comics right now. I've been buying a ton of regular comics, but I'm also so sad that like I'm in an age where like the young people like that I teach just don't care about the things that in my opinion are so amazing. But the reason they don't care about it is because the things that are amazing, the companies that make those amazing things haven't adapted to the new market, haven't adapted to talking to the new people, the new purchasers, and haven't still realized that women are the biggest readers of fucking comics. Like, why? Why? I Want My Life as a Teenage Robot manga. Yeah. That was a good show. That was one of the only female focused shows on the TV at the time. That was a cartoon and it was so good. That would be great if it was a comic. If it got rebooted as a comic, actually got completed, because I think it got canceled. So actually properly gets completed, etc. That'd be great. Yeah, there isn't much spotlight on shoujo and josei. There's a ton of spotlight on shoujo. Shoujo is like a giant spotlight on it. Shoujo has a huge spotlight on it. I know like shonen takes up so much space. It's weird how people gender comics. I agree, Alvin, to some extent. Comics shouldn't be gendered. One of the reasons why I follow the gender explanation is just because it's the way the marketing terms are used to explain the type of comic. Like if I say female-focused comic, you know that it's got character interaction, strong emotional development, a low amount of action, typically. Like these things should be in everything, don't get me wrong, but like they're usually in shoujo. They're usually in female-focused comics. It should not be, we should not title them like that. We should title them in a different way. I would say narrative-focused comics. I would say character-driven stories. I would say character dramas. I would say we should use that language a lot more than female-focused stories or shoujo, but it's where we're at, to be honest. And I can't change that yet. Step 1, destroy gender. Facts and based and chad-pilled, to be honest. Gender, meaningless construct. Broke, gender. Woke, comic books. Marcus was like TMNT. I don't know. I actually don't know. I didn't even know TMNT was Oh, wait, no, I saw the TMNT Ronin comic. Is that the one you're talking about? Or is this another one? I'm thinking of TMNT Ronin right now when you're talking about that. The marketing for Ronin was great. I think it's called The Last Ronin. It was so good. Yeah, that's like all I have to really talk about this stuff. So, is there any last opinions before I move on? Yeah, it's a marketing machine, Demidot. Like TMNT is a marketing machine because it's really good at, I guess it's just really good at appealing to multiple different types of people. They created their own rogues gallery, their own like 4 major character types, and they just know how to use them to reach people. The new movie has cereal? What the fuck? Wait, what? Is that a new movie? No. There is a cereal? I really want it. Wait, does this cereal come with... Let me see. I need to see this new cereal. Wait, it comes with little turtle faces. Bro, what? I'm so sad. Yo, what am I missing out on, man? God, I should get it. I should have got the Mario cereal too. Very sad about this, to be honest. Replace gender with comics. Enough helicopters, comics only. Facts. They wasted no time. They already answered on action figures. Dude, I didn't know about that. That's actually really good. That's really smart. All right. So dumb. Love comics, though. Comics aren't the worst. Anyway. Cereal industry is missing out on weeb marketing. Imagine Evangelion. Evangelion cereal will just be like, it will just be a bowl of milk that you cry into and that tear represents, and then the milk represents lust, and the tear represents your pathetic nature and inability to move forward. That's what would happen. That's what Evangelion cereal will be, with an empty box and a bowl of milk. You look at the bowl of milk and into the empty box, there'd be no cereal, you'd fall into the water, and then the song will play, and then you will realize the thematic meaning of the cereal that you'll give up. Ava cereal turns the milk red. Son. Sorry. It's so stupid. You know what it's making me think of? Let me show you guys this. I can show you guys this. So you guys know that Mets meme, right? I need to stop doing this on streams where I'm trying to talk about important things. But I'll get to the important thing in a second. So like, it reminds me of this. Hold on, let me make sure my audio is playing through the right thing.
This isn't about getting my wife back, son. It's about the Mets shit. Get the third in behind me, get the third base. Hit a home run. Hit a home run.
Every shit post about Evangelion reminds me of this fucking video. Every single time. Every single time. Anyway, so enough memes, enough ha-has, enough joking. Time to get serious, probably. Let me actually see what I put on the topic list. Oh, actually, yeah, let's not get serious yet. Let's talk about something slightly important, though. And I want to tell you guys about a new app, a new thing. A new thing. I say new, it's not that new. But say hello, kids, to Glaze from the University of Chicago. Shout out Chi-Town. Yeah, from the University of Chicago. Say hello to Glaze. The Glaze Project. Shout out to Chi-Town. Who knew that they were making this out in Chirac? This is all of my references to songs. Glaze is really cool, actually. Glaze is really cool to me because what it is essentially is, I'm going to give you guys the easy explanation using the diagrams that they gave us. So the way current AI data web crawling works is this: you post stuff online. The AI model finds your art, the AI model finds your art. Make sure it picks the right selection, and then using its mimicry system, it tries to kind of figure out the style and it turns into what's called a style specific model, and it can generate art mimicking the style mimicking your art style, right? What Glaze wants to do is basically this. Their whole deal is this: they make what's called cloaked artwork, and how they do that is they put an amount of noise that's imperceptible to the human eye in the right way into the image, so that when it's trying to mimic the image and fine tune and like make a style specific model, it basically breaks down because it doesn't know how much of the image is the image and how much of the image, doesn't know what parts of the image to look at for the thing that you've drawn. It is instead looking at the image and seeing a bunch of the noise that was put in there by Glaze. That's it. It's not a guaranteed solution, but it will work for long enough. It will work for long enough. Yeah, the befores and afters are weird. Like I've looked at a few of them, and sometimes it seems to have no effect. Sometimes it seems to have really big effect. Where is there? They had a comparison thing. But anyway, look. The best way for me to talk about it is this. If you're not sure about Glaze, download it and use it. It doesn't really cost much to download. Like, let me show you. Go into download Glaze. You literally go to their download section. I don't know why the button isn't working right now. But when you go to the download section, you will, oh, there it is. You will basically be given a couple apps. It's on Windows, Mac, so both for Apple Silicon and for Intel, right? And just download one of it and see how it works for you. That's it. Is it possible for the AI people to override it? Yeah, but not the AI developing to override it. The programmers can write something to override what this does, but Glaze is a project in action. So give it a good shot. Try it on your work. It might make your art look weird, but give it a shot. It works on Windows, M1, M2 MacBooks, and Intel MacBooks. So that's everything, all the MacBooks from like 13.0 up, pretty much. Mac OS 13 and up. It should hold up for long enough to matter. So that's what counts here, right? Make sure to use a good GPU, or we'll limit the CPU cores you're using, or maybe just like leave your computer alone when it's doing its thing. But yeah, give Glaze a good try. I think it's I've seen a bunch of the AI people talking about it. They talk about it like it's poison, like they've been shot. You talk about it like a character like a character in a bad soap opera that's been shot in the stomach, and he's like, "Oh, I'm dying." That's how they talk about it. So yeah, go for it, please. Give yourself the best chance possible for these dipshits to not use it, and tell your friends. Okay, the more data that Glaze can get, the more participants Glaze can get using it, the more likely it might be to be able to figure out better ways to target those people. So yeah, the whole point is to fuck up their data sets, make them miserable. Those bastards don't deserve it. Those bastards don't deserve anything good. In fact, the only good thing AI is good for, I think one person was like, it's to make normal maps, which honestly, I would happily let AI make normal maps for me in Blender. I don't want to do it myself. Because like, I was talking to a friend the other day and I was like, it's not AI that's the problem. People don't care about AI. People don't care about AI. They care about the fact that like the people who are AI bros, quote unquote, push AI as like the way to get rid of artists in the community so that they can quote unquote access art as they wish. They just want to not pay for stuff. They want to get stuff for free and not pay for it. That's it. And it's awful. Yeah, because there's AI tools that artists actually would fucking love. If I told you there was a tool to automatically do your lighting, you guys would lose your minds. You guys would lose your goddamn minds. Alvin, don't you get that fucking out of my chat. Get that shit out of my chat, Alvin. Oh, fuck. Don't reference him. Not here. A flat coloring AI would be great. A background, no, I don't even think a background AI would be great. I don't think people want a background AI because lots of people draw background art, but flats would be great. Lots of lighting ones would be great. Like little things like that would be awesome. That's it. Ones that like can take your, I don't know, ones that can take like your bubble style and replicate it would be awesome. Yeah, I saw the shading AI in CSP. That was really good. It looks really good. God, it was so cool. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of it. Yeah, I saw some tweets of it. It looks really cool. It looks really good. Anyway, so that's the not so serious thing. No, Klaus didn't use an AI. I think Klaus. Let me see, because Klaus isn't using an AI. They're using a certain blending technique. What's the technique called again? They're basically using what's called, from what I understand, it looks like they're using ambient occlusion. They're using a combination of what you would call CG lighting techniques and traditional 2D animation techniques. So they end up using features like ambient occlusion and a whole bunch of other tools to like bring that lighting effect. But it's not an AI. It's not an AI. That's for sure. Yeah. I don't remember what it was called specifically. I saw a paper on it ages ago, but I would be lying to you if I said I remembered anything of what it said. Yeah, that's that on that. Anyway, time to get serious. Let's get serious, guys. Let's get serious. Let's get real. Let's get major. So, I want to talk to you guys about what is, in my opinion, the dumbest thing I've seen lately. So last week I was looking into Webcomics app, and the drama of Webcomics app is pretty simple. Creators on Webcomics app suddenly found themselves in a situation where they weren't getting paid anymore despite the agreements that they had made with the company Webcomics app. And So I'm trying to find the specific DMs I was reading, but basically it was like this, right? If people creators who have exclusive series with Webcomics Hub, so an exclusive series contract with Webcomics Hub, have basically get paid every month like a stipend, like a monthly salary, quote unquote, right? And then at some point, without saying anything, Webcomics Hub basically just wasn't around. So no, let me just reconcile my notes. I write this the right way. So here's the timeline. Around October to November 2022, there was a payment problem, like a minor payment problem. It was but people were like, maybe because there was a COVID outbreak in the Webcomics Hub office, right? There was not enough staff to actually make the payment. So they were warned that payment processing might be slow and the payments would have been late. Everyone was understanding. And then people didn't, but then what happened was like, some people didn't get paid their bonus for October and November, and they went to ask about it. The editors an editor notably got mad at them. And some of the creators have also just not gotten paid at all for the October to November period. In fact, they hadn't been paid for December. Going all the way into January, the creators had not been paid for multiple months of released content at that point. By January, February, creators still haven't been paid. And then the editors post an announcement, and I have the announcement here. So I'm just trying to make sure I have the correct one. But then there's a sudden announcement on the 16th of January from senior editor Riri, and I'm not blaming any of the senior editors, by the way. They're just sending the information. But they basically say this: Dear Originals creators, these are the people who are qualified to be paid, I believe, on the app, even though they might not get paid, but they all the ones that are qualified. We apologize for the sudden announcement, but we want to let you know that for the time being, we editors won't be entertaining creators. Our DMs are closed for the moment. There are just issues on our side, and the team is working to resolve them. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to send an email to our customer service. The team will answer questions within 3 business days, blah, blah, blah. Once the issue is resolved, expect us to be back in February. Thank you and stay safe. So creators have not been paid all the way into January, and we get that announcement, and they basically get told to not expect any payments, right? That's the timeline a lot of creators are going through. Now, at that point, I find out about the situation, and I start asking a few questions. I start talking to a few people. I spoke to some really nice people in the community whose names I can't really use. I believe none of them want me to use their names. But essentially, the editors explained we're working through some issue on the back end at Webcomics Hub, and so we can't talk to you. We won't be available. We're trying to fix everything. We'll be back in February. They say that in January. But then they're gone. They're gone through Chinese New Year. They're gone for so long. Creators start, and in February, they're still gone, and creators are asking for their payments. Creators didn't even get paid for January at that point. Creators come back, Chinese New Year is over. It's February, no information, no update. And people are spamming emails to Webcomics Hub, getting no responses. So they're getting 0 responses. And then senior editor Yuki, one of the senior editors, sends an email to the company saying, hey, I would like to be paid. I didn't say this at this point, but I'll say this now. The senior editors aren't getting paid either. Everyone's getting shafted at this point. Right? No one's getting paid. Everyone's getting shafted. Nobody is making any money. This isn't a situation of some people are making money, some people aren't. Now, I mean, like 0 people are making any cash money. Right? Nobody is getting paid other than whoever is in whoever is in making money at Webcomics Hub, I guess. If that. Which to me is crazy. I have the email that she sent here because she posted it publicly, so I can show you guys that. Give me a second. I'm just trying to find the email. There. So I have a couple emails, and I'm just trying to make sure that I can show you some of them. Okay. I can't show you one of them. But I can show you a few of them. One of them is from the 26th of February. And one of them is from the end of February. So Senior Yuki sends an email to them, to the editing company, to Webcomics app, and they basically respond like this. They say, so this should have been on the 24th of February, and they say, "Good day. In the previous email, I've informed you that I have submitted the payment application and I'm waiting approval of the boss and the financial department. I'll also try my best to urge them to send the December salary within this month." Mind you, this is February. This is late February. "I'm just a staff member. I did what I could in my part. Hope you can understand my dilemma. I can understand your feeling of being owed wages, and I'm very sorry. Please believe that we will pay you what should be paid in December." So this problem goes all the way to the top. It's not just like incompetency. There's a major management problem going on there. And then another email comes at the end of February, just about, on the 1st of March, and it goes like this. "Hi there. I understand your feelings very well, but I'm very sorry the payment application I submitted 1 month ago has not been approved." It's the 1st of March that this email comes in, just about, right? The 28th of February this email comes in, "which is why I've been unable to promise a payment date before. But the boss promised to pay the December bill within this week. The payment will be sent before the end of this week. Due to bank turnover, we have had to postpone the payment. We feel very sorry for the trouble. Hope you calm down first. We don't want to behind the payment for the sake of our previous corporation. We always pay salary on time. Please wait patiently for a few more days. I'll continue to keep in touch with you." Now, I want it to be known that some of the creators that should have gotten paid did get paid. Some of them believe it's the correct amount. And I believe they all got paid. Sorry, just checking all my notes to make sure I'm in the I'm in the right thing. They all got paid on the 10th of March. So that was literally 9 days after that email. No, 10 days after that email, right? They got paid. Okay. Okay. So after all of this happens, after all of this stuff happens, I apologize. I'm just trying to I'm going through all of my DMs for people. Anyway, after all of this happens, right? People get an email shortly around March, right? Sometime around March, you get an email that basically says this. It says, "Hey, there's something I still need to read, but yeah. It basically says, "Hey, we don't want to pay you anymore. We've always paid you more money than we made," is basically what they said. They're saying, "We always paid you more money than we made anyway. So get fucked. We're going to instead try to shift from this payment system where we pay you monthly to one where you only get the 50% split ad revenue with us. And we will try to do our best to market your work." Now, that's where the creators are right about now. A lot of them have basically quit because they're not working for free. A lot of the editors have quit because they basically had to get their last payment and fuck off, being essentially fired without pay for an extra 2 months of work that they did. I tried to get in communication with as many of them as possible so they would talk to me. Getting them to talk to me was kind of hard because they're just hard to communicate with people. They're just in different time zones from me. And I don't know, I think they're finding it kind of hard to trust that I'm really there to ask them genuine questions. But I've spoken to everyone there. Yeah, Jenna. Jenna, Jenna, I have a question. Sorry, it's a complete non sequitur. I just want to ask Jenna, where were you during the Tapas video? Where were you? I wanted to see what you'd say. Anyway, so let's go watch that one. But anyway, so, but yeah, pretty bad year. Pretty bad year for them. And that's where everyone pretty much is at right now. I have in my possession, through one of my sources, one of the contracts that you would have with Webcomics app, and I'm currently reading it. I'm sorry it's taking me so long to do stuff. I've just been dealing with a lot of work, so I haven't properly read through the entire contract, but I'm looking through it to see if there's anything I can find for people to go off of, and I'm hoping to hand over this contract to one of the IP lawyers that I know personally, and speak to them. Yeah, here's the email. Here's the email that they sent regarding 50% split. Here. "Hi there. Good day. I'm very sorry for the delay in payment for these months. And thank you for understanding. I regret to tell you that because the payment situation of this work has not been optimistic, the cost of the guarantee amount we paid has always been higher than its actual income. So we would like to negotiate with you, and we will no longer be able to pay the guaranteed amount monthly, but we will still share 50% of the revenue with you and promise to put the work on channels with more traffic to promote it. Look forward to hearing from you. Regards, Emma. Emma is one of the people from the Webcomics team, Webcomics app team. So yeah, that's the email. Yeah, just want that to be out there. And that's kind of where everyone's at. That's where the situation's at. I'm still reading the contract. I'm still looking into seeing and understanding like a little bit more about the company. I have some information that I can use to contact them. Maybe I'm hoping to be able to contact some of the people working at Webcomics app. But I do not speak Cantonese and I do not speak Mandarin. And I'm pretty sure Webcomics app is what's called a shell company. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like Webcomics Holdings HK Limited, the name that they operate under when they're outside of China. I think that's a shell company that they've made to operate outside of mainland China. If you know, there's a lot of mainland Chinese companies have to make a secondary company in Hong Kong. So because companies in Hong Kong can make dealings with countries outside of the space, companies in mainland China, it's a little bit more complicated. So often what they do is they make a shell company in Hong Kong and they operate through that shell company to do work in other countries. It's not strange. It's not even illegal. It's just normal, right? It's the nature of dealing with a complicated legal environment, that is the Chinese territorial zone. So, like, I'm assuming that whoever I call when I try to contact someone at Webcomics app will speak Mandarin and not Chinese, and most likely not English. So I'm trying to get a hold of someone who speaks good Mandarin to sit with me and make an international phone call for 2 hours that might go nowhere. So that's where I'm at with that investigation. I figured I might as well just get to it. As Jenna said, it's been a pretty bad year for webcomic platforms, in a large part because of their own greed, their own inability to understand that growth is not infinite. The year of I told you guys at the beginning of the year, I said to every single one of you, who's just, what the fuck what is that text? What does that say? Anyway, in chat, someone just posted Mandarin, I think. Anyway, what I wanted to get to is just like, I spent a lot of time on this. Oh, hello. Oh, hey, Mark, you speak Mandarin? Is that ni hao? That's ni hao. Anyway. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yes. So I spent a lot of time looking into the project, but like I said this in January, and I'll say this again. I said this last year that like during the pandemic, every webcomics company, every tech company, quote unquote, has spent their entire time engaging in stupid fucking economic practices. They saw that during COVID they got unprecedented growth and they operated with impunity, and it's coming to bite them in the fucking ass. They've been operating on debt that they don't have, with money that they don't have, in an economy that is incredibly hostile to incompetency. Like, and they've all been doing it. Webtoon has been doing it. Webcomics App clearly has been doing it, because if you don't know this, and I'll show you some information that might be useful for you guys to see. Webcomics App, when it came into existence, you guys remember the year when Webcomics App was fucking everywhere, that you would open a website and you would see them marketing to you? You guys remember that year? I remember that year because that year was a nightmare for me. But if you remember that year, this is back when they had their old logo, not their new one, not their new current one that's like kind of nice. This is back when they had their old orange logo. Yeah, I'm sure Lux knows someone. I know someone who might be able to speak Mandarin for me, but I don't know if they're gonna do it. I don't know if they want to do it. But yeah, like, if you don't know this, Webcomics App, this is meaningless, by the way. Webcomics App, it being based in Hong Kong, they had a total funding amount of 2 rounds of funding from a venture capital firm which owns them, which is Chiming Venture Partners, right? This venture capital firm fronted Webcomics App $4 million to operate. And this was in 2018-19. 2 funding rounds with 2 different amounts. I believe the first funding round they got about $3 million, and the second funding round they got about a couple $100,000. But like, so they've got fronted $4 million to operate in 2019, and they acted with total impunity with 2018-2019. They acted with total impunity with that money, running the biggest marketing campaign I'd seen anyone run for a year, having no idea whether they were making money. And then when they saw the growth of their readership that came about during COVID, but they never increased the quality of their IP or their product in tandem with that, those readers eventually would leave over during that COVID, and they in turn, trying to stay afloat, like almost every other company, would take on unprecedented debt. And they're all doing it. They're all doing it. Webtoon fucking bought Wattpad with debt. Kakao bought Tapas and fucking Radish and all of them on debt. They don't have any of the money. They bought them on crazy debt as well. It's not even like reasonable debt. It's not, this is a decent, smart debt. They bought these things on debt because they wanted to have power. And now they have the power and they have no fucking clue what to do. Also, it's not, Webcomics app isn't sketchy. Like their offer wasn't sketchy. Their offer was never sketchy. They were just incompetent. The way art people are reaching out right now, unfortunately, using the Instagram DM thing, makes them look sketchy, but that's not the thing you should judge them on. Their financials are way more important and way more important to think about. I recently got reached out to by a good, a buddy, a viewer. He sent me a DM. If you're watching this, by the way, I'm sorry I forgot to reply to your DM. I was asleep, if I'm very honest with you. I fell asleep right after I read it. But, they reached out to me because they're also getting DMs from another company doing the exact same stuff. And that company at least is a little bit more established and a little bit more knowledgeable what they're doing, in my opinion. In my personal opinion. But no, yeah. Webcomics app, as you know, it seems to be toast, and there's not much we can do about it. It's really bad. It's really bad that these companies think they can operate with total impunity because they have infinite money. They are sketchy. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Webcomics app is sketchy, but I'm just saying, don't judge them on that as why they're sketchy. And I'm not paying their artists. They artificially inflate your sub of view counts and have generally deceptive policies. Yeah, they do that inflation, that view count inflation and that sub count inflation because their service is like overrun with bots, which is stupid. They've always been a very deceptive company. They're a mainland Chinese company. They're operating outside of their country. They've always been a deceptive company. It's kind of their thing. Kind of their whole deal, dude. Jeez. But yeah, that's what that's going into. Right now I'm trying to get the senior editors, specifically one called Riri and another one called Moon Shaw. I think that's their name. And I was trying to get Yuki to talk to me so that I can, because they're all in Southeast Asia, so their time zone difference with me is quite large. I'm trying to get those senior editors to talk to me so I could get a better, more established understanding of the internal goings on of Webcomics app from their perspective. It's been hard to get in communication with them, but I'm doing what I can. Maybe I'll get nothing ever. I just wanted you to know that is the reason this took so long, and that's the story in of itself. I was there for a while before harassing them into removing my comic from this site. That's so sad. That's so sad. It is an unfortunate thing, and this entire breakdown of communication, poor treatment of artists, and everything has basically been public. And here's the thing I didn't tell you guys at the end of that story. All of that happened in the Discord server. For context, if you didn't join the Discord server, which it was very easy to not join, you would never have known why the payment situation ended up the way it did. You would never have known about the communications because everything was on the Discord. Everything was on the Discord. Some people are trying to cancel their contracts, but the wording for cancellation is confusing, to say the least. Yeah. On average, a lot of people got their payments. Some people didn't. The fallout's bad, as it often is. Yeah. And the server, the community looks like a ghost town now. None of the senior editors are ever online. Emma, the main contact from Webcomics app, is never online. Yeah, it's just, for me, that's entertaining. It's the story. I'm sorry to bring you bad news. I can bring you more bad news right now. I have bad news right now that I don't even know if I should tell you. I don't even know if I should tell you. It's about. I could put this in the thumbnail though. Do I tell them? Hold on, let me check something. I'm just sending a message to my assistant. Spill. I don't know if I should spill. You gotta tell us. It's so dumb. Okay, so, so. Y'all know about Webtoon Germany? That's my opening line, guys. Come on. That's a strong opening line, right? It's a strong opening line. Y'all know about Webtoon DE? Webtoon DE, Webtoon Germany, Webtoon Deutschland. What's a German phrase I can say? German fun phrase. Leben ist kein Ponyhof. You know, like Webtoon Germany. So no, it's not about pay. We didn't even get to pay. Okay, look, let me hit you up with that. Good. So y'all know the website webtoons.com. If you didn't know this, Webtoon has multiple different versions of their website for different regions that they consider to be major economical locations or on a whim, right? I think I told my assistant about Webtoon Germany. I hope so. She should know. Anyway, so yeah, so I might have to change the thumbnail. Let me actually tell my assistant, hey, Tyler, can you like make a thumbnail for Webtoon Germany, please? So we could get more clicks on this video later. So if you go to the bottom of the Webtoon page, there are a few languages. There's multiple different languages for using Webtoon, which funny story, I'm still logged into your account, Jenny Toons. It's not on here, but I'm logged into your account in like multiple regions and I'm never going to leave. I could sabotage her right now, delete all her comics. Anyway, so Webtoon has multiple different regions. There's Webtoon Latam. You guys know the Latin American one, or LAM as people call it. That's usually Espanol. Webtoon Espanol. There's also Webtoon in Mandarin. Here it is, right? I believe it's the Mandarin website. And there's Webtoon in French. You guys probably know about Webtoon Francais. The Druid of Soul Station, you know, classic French website. But if you didn't know this, there's also, this is English, my bad. This is the French one. Tradition d'Olympus, you know, it's all there. It's all good. So that's like Webtoon Francais. There's Webtoon Deutsch. Webtoon douche, if you will. Haha, take that, Germans. You fucking losers. One of my patrons is German, and honestly, I need her to like me. So that will be the only German slander in today's video. There will be no more German slander. Webtoon, anyway. So I've been looking into Webtoon Germany because I've been trying to understand a little bit more about what's going on over there. Because Webtoon French is kind of under the radar. I'm largely led to believe that Webtoon French is basically Webtoon US with like 2 French speakers running it. And that's fine, I don't care. But Webtoon DE, I've been led to believe, is run by 2 guys, one of them whose name I've completely forgotten, and another one whose name is Peter. Hi, Peter. Peter Hensch, a nice little man with a heart of gold, apparently. He seems very polite. People seem to like him, kind of. He's likable. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, look. Oh, Mark, is Mark there with you, Luxiva? Luxiva is here with her roommate, Mark, also known as the love of my life. Mark was really instrumental and valuable in helping me get through Denmark. So I'm glad he's here watching. Hi, Mark. But anyway, I forgot that Mark was the Mark I was thinking of. But yeah, so while caring about Webtoon Germany, while looking into Webtoon Germany and learning about Peter Hench, the guy running from Webtoon D, running Webtoon D, I've learned a few things, and I'm going to run you through a few of them. One, Peter is running Webtoon DE with a team in running Webtoon DE from Korea. From Korea, as in like Peter is a German born natural citizen who moved to Korea and started working for Naver. And he's running Webtoon DE from Korea with a team in Korea. A lot of his focus as a creative person seems to be, as a person involved with Webtoon, seems to be that like, seems to be that of like he likes comics and he's got the enthusiasm. That seems to be his whole thing. He does not operate in Germany, even though right now Webtoon D is running, he is not in Germany and he's not actively engaging in the community on a day-to-day basis, although he is talking to people on podcasts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've done a lot of research into them and I found out that they have a certain level of internal instability, right? And I wasn't to understand what the internal instability was, but I wasn't really getting any leads until suddenly I got told that all the plans for Webtoon originals in Germany, got scrapped. They all got scrapped immediately, overnight. Like a bunch of creators in communication with Webtoon Germany just got told basically, guys, we're not doing this originals thing anymore. Get fucked. And then and they've gone like incommunicado since. I tried reaching out to Peter to get some information, got nothing. But I tried just finding out about how it's run. And from what I understand, it's this. Peter basically was doing market research while running the company. I'll make this make sense. Webtoon DE starts up. Webtoon Germany just starts up. Before the website was up, like properly, they just start up the office. During the period of time where they're supposed to be doing market research and kind of like understanding the space, understanding what people need, and understanding monetary requirements and their business and financial requirements as a company, they weren't really like pausing and like being in the community and like talking to creators to understand like the average creator of the community. They were just like, they were hunting. They were hunting for a type of creator. And I'm using the word hunting on purpose because while I do not believe that they meant to be malicious, they were hunting for a type of creator. They were looking for somebody who was essentially a full-time part-timer, right? One of those, the 19-year-old college student that basically does not have any other obligations that can draw a comic and still say it's a part-time job, right? And the thing is, if you don't know how it runs in Germany, Germany is actually quite a difficult place to start a business in if you're trying to exploit people, because Germany has a few obligations. For example, if somebody's work takes up more than 10 hours of their week, you have to pay their insurance. His work is treated as a full-time job. So it's one of those things where like, even if it's a quote unquote commission job, if it takes up a certain amount of your time, they have to treat you like a full-time worker, right? That's like Germany's deal. And also, if an employer has to pay things like insurance, blah, 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 and the amount to pay is quite high because like in most of Europe, most people are employed. Most young people have something to do. So, like in a lot of big countries in Europe, most young people have something to do, and those things that they do pay them well, largely because, and I say well relative, largely because the location requires lower pay to be able to be at a livable state. Everyone's paid all right. Even low-paying people in Germany can still get a decent apartment in Berlin. Even if it's shared, it's not as bad as living in London. That's for sure, right? So they found out all these things, and whenever these things are from what I understand, whenever any of these things were told to Peter and his team, they responded very negatively. They responded very negatively and saying things like, not negatively like mean, I just mean like they responded very like they didn't approve of that being the situation. They asked the creator what their minimum pay would be, and then that creator said at least $2,000 a month for this to be worth it. And they were like, we can do 400 euros a month, basically, monthly release. On a monthly release. So like if you wanted $2,000, you would have to do like 5 chapters a month. 5 60-panel chapters a month. Even if it was 5 40-panel chapters a month, that's still insane. Right? Like it was the requirements, they were trying to basically get what they get in America and what they get in a lot of the world. Labor that is severely underpaid for the effort. Right? They I got given a bunch I got given a bunch of information about how they were running leading into the event. So for example, if you didn't know this, Webtoon DE was doing while doing their research looking for originals, they had like email correspondences with these originals. And like, God, I have a bunch of email correspondence, but I can't really show you all of them. But I had a lot of messages and email correspondence, and they talked to a lot of them. And one of my favorite stories from this, though, is essentially one of the creators sent in their work to Webtoon DE using their pitch system. The pitch was rejected because they said they need something that looks a little bit more like Midnight Poppyland. The creator was then invited to a different review with the same guy who reviewed it, Peter, reviewing their work again, not remembering who they were, and giving entirely different criticism. A creator sent in their Vampire BL, and then in a live stream that Peter did on Instagram, he said, "We've had too much Vampire BL too many Vampire BL submissions," which that's not true. Vampire BL, in my opinion, is a pretty rare mix of subgenres. Like vampirism and BL is not that common in IMHO, but maybe I'm dumb. Like that's what he said on the live stream, which to me is a very direct hit, but whatever. In general, Peter has been put forward to me as a clumsy man. He's been put forward to me as a very clumsy man, a man who, he's not mean, he's not malicious, he just talks like shit. He talks really badly. He talks in a way that's like, he says things the wrong way. When he told that creator their work needed to be more like Midnight Poppyland, he says because their work was too anime. He wanted something that looked a little bit more Korean. People asked him about fantasy, things that were brought up about like, why is Germany, a country that is 90% in which like the biggest media pieces are fantasy, not getting a big fantasy release, and like, don't know why he didn't go for that. You know, why they weren't talking about fantasy IPs. It was a creator that was working with them and was in correspondence with with Peter. And Peter basically went, hey, Peter reaches out to them for their work. They reach out to Peter, giving them their pitch. Peter responds back with some changes, but nothing really substantial. They respond back with the changes done. They don't get communication for ages. They end up going back to Peter and going, hey, are we still doing this? And then Peter goes, yeah, we still are. And then gives them a giant long list of criticisms. And then like bails. And it's like a massive list of criticisms. Things are like, some of them are shallow, some of them are stupid. And the creators at that point thinking, fuck this. And then just after that, the announcement that like original stuff canceled is done. Like really, their main thing is the story is they learned they couldn't exploit people as easily in Germany as they could everywhere else. Right? Like that's the main story. That's the big story here, kids. They learned they couldn't exploit people in Germany as easily as they could exploit everyone in every other country, and they are not enjoying it. They just aren't enjoying it. I got sent a story. Basically, somebody said there was during the interview. I tell you this. They did interviews with creators to ask them basically what they want from originals, what they want from Webtoon, Canvas, etc. in Germany. And during one of the interviews, a creator said to them that, I might get unemployed after a comic with Webtoon if it doesn't work out, because their current job pays really well. And basically, to be a feature creator with Webtoon, these creators would have to give up their Patreons. In terms of putting their content out on Patreon, would have to find some alternative content to put out on Patreon to maintain their revenue. And also, they would have to quit their jobs because the hours required from Webtoon are quite high, as you all know. And so they were like, essentially, after a Webtoon, I might be jobless, especially because my current job pays better than what Webtoon can ever offer me. And then Peter said, yeah, that's normal. That can happen. Yeah, Sus Amogus kids. Somebody. Yeah, he said that. It's not a bit. That's not a bit. He said, yeah, that's normal. That can happen. Somebody insert The Rock. Somebody insert a big boom sound effect with The Rock doing a raised eyebrow. Wait, in fact, I might have something. Like, it's literally guys, this is such a worrying situation. This is every day of my life is this. Who's letting these marketing people cook? Indeed. Body green cover type. I'm fucking dying. Guys, I love that I can tell you this on this day, the day of my birth. Like, legit. So thank you for the other happy birthdays. I'm very happy about them. Every happy birthday fills me with joy. But yeah, no, like so you might say to me, okay, man, right. But it can't be that bad overall. Like, they must have at least been communicating very well. Like, no. Multiple times in conversations with creators, Peter would say clumsy things to people, where his conversations would be largely like comparisons to other work, blah, blah, blah. One of the things that he says in Peter was on a podcast that I tried to get a copy of, but the podcast has been taken down, and I'll tell you why in a second, probably. I'm trying to think if I should. But on that podcast, he basically says things like, in Korea, the webcomic artists are like stars and appear in TV shows. And because of and like the thing is, he mentions like true beauty and lookism, I think, I'm not sure, but essentially he puts this idea of webcomic creators being celebrities in Korea, and it's like, yeah, the biggest ones are celebrities in Korea. Most of them don't make money. Canvas is supported. Bullshit. Hey, bye, Corgi. Canvas isn't supported anywhere. He started saying that they had a German original to start with, because apparently they signed on a German original, but nobody knows who that person is or if that contract's still going through. He said they talked about what his job is and how he works with the people in Germany. But the thing is, Peter is, again, not present in the scene in Germany. He's not a present person in the German comics scene. So like his existence there is passive. He's not there. You know what I mean? Like, he was there for a few conventions, but he's not there on a regular basis talking to people, going to bookstores. Like, he's not trying to figure out how to communicate best with the environment. He's off in fucking Korea. He's off in fucking Korea running this deal. I don't get that. He says he does not read comics in this podcast. He says, I don't read comics, but he has read paperback books of Donald Duck. To my Danish bros, my Danish bro and my Danish sis, he reads Jumbo Bogs. He reads fucking Jumbo Bogs, and he's like, I'm gonna run this comic company off of the Donald Duck comic. Like, it's killing me. My man really said, bro, I'm like, he's not pretending to be legit, so I guess it's fine. But like, my man just reads this. He reads these, and he's like, bro, I'm an authority. I'm good enough to run this gig. Like, holy shit. King, you need to calm down. What was he saying on our podcast? He said, because of the amount of information he's found, he's having to read through a lot more before he can put the jobs out, like creative jobs out, because he just didn't do enough research beforehand, it seems. He went to an art school, and he's been to like some cons. That's it. Peter is not like a comics person, I should say. Peter studied business administration. I found his LinkedIn, so I can also just tell you where he worked before. But he started business administration. He basically just went straight from Germany out into Korea. He's working at Naver. He went to do an internship at Naver. He's working at Naver for like ages and ages and ages, like a really long time. So, dude's like not even of the cloth. The man is not even of the cloth. You know what I mean? You know what I mean when I say he's not off the cloth? I hope that makes sense. I will say though, some things very valuable came from Peter, and I can show you some of them. But one thing beforehand, I just want to show you. I want to show you the most European image in the world, and I really want to show you this. The most European image I have ever seen, ever in my life. And because I want to protect the creator who posted this, I just want to like get the image. Whatever. I don't think it's gonna let me block their name out. Oh, God. Okay. I'm gonna block the person who posted this name out because I don't want them to deal with any random shit. But like, this is the most European thing in the world, right? Like everyone who lives in Europe, you guys know what I'm talking about. They're doing a small, tiny convention. It says Was ist Webtoon, and it's in like a fucking wine cellar. This is the most European thing I've ever seen in my life. Like I've never felt more at home in an image in my whole fucking life. This is the most European thing I've ever seen. I'm so happy. That makes me so fucking happy. Like, you know, my Euro frogs know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's up, right? Like, so, never been in a wine cellar. British expat, never been in a wine cellar. Euro card revoked. Indeed, Hika. You're no longer allowed back into the club. You were removed, frankly. So, gang, the one thing I have a few things for you. One of them I think everyone has, so it's not really that valuable. And one of them I don't think anyone has, so I think it's pretty valuable. So here's one. Here's the one thing. The first thing I want to show you. The second thing I can also show. Thanks, Garudo dating classroom. Okay, all right, gang. Here's the first thing I want to show you. I don't know. Is this a thing that's already in the? I don't really keep track of what English Webtoon is giving people. I'll be very honest. I believe English Webtoon though has given everybody this Webtoon Academy resource handbook, right? You guys have seen this around, probably sitting around somewhere. If you haven't, you're in luck. There's a link to it in the Discord now. If you want it, if you actually really want it for some absurd reason, there is a link to it in the Discord. It will be in the comics criticism forum section in the pinned post. It will be in there. If you just open the pinned post, you'll see it as one of the comments in there. I'll put that in there if you want it. The link to it is all there. In fact, I'll download the file and I'll upload it right there so that you guys can just keep it if you want to. Oh, I already have a copy. Great. I'll just upload it there so that you guys can keep it if you want it. It's not that useful if I'm honest with you, but you know, I like having things that have Webtoon branding on them sometimes. It's fun. I think it's very funny to have that. But like also I'm saying that for like the wrong reasons. So, you know, don't listen to me. Don't take me as the gospel here. Yeah, so if you want it, both files the files uploaded. There's another file uploaded, and I want to show you. This is a pitching PowerPoint. Oh, that's the wrong one. I can't show you that. That's where all my data is. 1 second. There's a pitching PowerPoint. Nothing's even wrong there. It's just that's where the Webtoon research thing is. Slides.google.com. So Webtoon also made a bunch of, there it is. Basically, they made like a pitching guide, right? They made a pitching guide. It's entirely in German, but don't worry, I've translated most of the relevant things in a translated version. So I have a translated version. The file for that's also being uploaded right now onto that same channel in the comics criticism section of the Discord server, of the Discord channel. In the pinned post, there's going to be 2 files. One of them will be this. But this is, I will get that Webtoon mascot head, Jenny. Don't worry, I will get that Webtoon mascot head. If anybody knows how that I can get access to the mascot head for Webtoon, the Webtoon logo mascot head, I need it. I need the mascot head. I need it. I will probably be at New York Comic Con this October. So I need it. You need to help me get it. You guys need to help me get it. I need it. Oh God, I need it so badly. For my personal collection, for me to use. Anyway, so this is the Webtoon. I don't know what this means, but I think it just means like the pitching guide. And it runs you through all the things that they might want from you to help to pitch to them, to pitch a comic to Webtoon Germany. I think Webtoon keeps relatively similar pitching ideas for everyone. So I'm also sharing this resource with some translations. I haven't translated everything, but I translated the longest, most complicated things that I thought would be hard to translate, so that you guys could have it. So some good can come out of this that might really help you if you want to pitch to Webtoon or just pitch to another company, right? I translated most of the things that need to be translated into English. So like here, that's in English. I did this with the help of my patron, Pearl Waters, who's one of our patrons, whose name will be scrolling right at the end. But yeah, so there you have it. This file, along with the other file, will be in the Discord server, in that channel. In that channel, indeed. If there's any questions, please ask them now, or forever hold your peace. Oh, you saw the helmet? Oh, I want it so bad. Tyler, I need you to get me that helmet. You should have stolen it from me and mailed it to me. You know I would pay the shipping. You know I would pay the shipping. I need the helmet. I need the Webtoon head, the mascot head. I so desperately need it. You guys don't understand. You guys think it's a meme. It's a compulsion. It's something I need. I need like for life. For life reasons, I need it. Oh my God. But yeah, okay, now that's everything, guys. That's everything for today. I figured I might as well get that one in. The last thing I wanted to say, but I might not say, is we'll probably be getting more news. I'll just say it like this: we'll probably be getting more news about Webtoon Germany in the coming few weeks to maybe a month. So yeah. Also, if you wonder where those files are, just so you guys can see it, this is the Discord server. Discord recently added themes. This is the Discord server. If you're in the Discord server, you just need to go to the Comic Criticism channel. This is the pinned post. If you click in the pinned post, there they are. There are the files. There's the link for one of the files, and there are the 2 files uploaded. If you would like to have access to them, go for it. Go for it indeed. I love getting information like this. It always makes me very happy. If you have more information about strange goings-ons in the webcomics industry that you think I might be worth me looking into, you can always go into the Discord server and post them in the podcast suggestions place after you take the role of podcast on YouTube. Or you can DM me directly from the server. My name is usually Grussler or Nen. Or you can email me at tips@webcomicshub.co.uk, which I think I have that email. Wait, do I still have that email? You can just email me at like press@webcomics. No, it's press@webcomicshub.co.uk. You can email me there, usually with some tip or some tip off about what's going on in the webcomic space that you think would be worth me looking into. Don't worry, every email you make to me is confidential, and usually it is downloaded, deleted off of the server, and it's downloaded from the server as an individual file, deleted, redacted, and then put into a secure storage space that is offline. So don't worry about anybody knowing that you sent me the email. Okay. That's today's show. That's everything I wanted to talk about today. Any thoughts, kids? Anything that you guys want to tell me about what happened? Has it been a roller coaster of a live stream? It's so stupid. It's such a stupid space to be in right now, because this is not a great year for comics, but God, has it been not a great year for comics? Like, it's such a bad year for comics, right? Like an awful year for comics. But, and that's the thing, it's only for comic companies. Comics themselves are on the up and up. More and more people are reading them. I don't know. It has to be a roller coaster, right? Yeah, we're going down, because when we go down, we'll go up. That's what's happening. roller coaster stream to make up for the last chill stream because I relaxed on a stream. On my birthday, the year of my birth, I have an upsetting stream. Does Webtoon even care about creators for real? Yeah, they do. Webtoon cares about creators. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm going to tell you the most genuine thing I've ever said in my life about Webtoon. Webtoon really does care about creators. And dozens of people in that company, in that community, in that space will do anything they can for you. Due to some recent, semi-recent news, I have very different opinions about people like David Shin, of Webtoon, from what I used to have about them. Just that, yeah, monetization for webcomics have tanked, but they've not really tanked. They've normalized. One of the problems of what's going on is that Webtoon, like every company, operates on two fronts. They are a company that operates on the consumer front where they talk to you, and they operate on the financial front when they talk to investors and talk about money. And in the financial front, this is a problem for every tech company and for every company in current late stage capitalism. Sorry, I burped there. In current late stage capitalism, the problem with every company is that these companies are run by people that don't care about long-term benefits or the safety of an industry, or even just like making money forever. They care about making money now. So they look at money and they look at these companies through the lens of infinite growth. And COVID provided for a lot of these companies what these investors have been looking for the past 20, 30 years. A massive boom in growth that made them believe that it was true, that infinite growth was real. And because they believed in this bullshit, they had their companies, their big multinational companies that cost them millions of dollars to run. They had them to go into debt. They had them go into debt so that they could secure more stuff with the hope of growing even more. They had them consolidate power, thinking that would allow them to grow even more. And the reality of life is that, one, that growth during COVID was very temporary. And two, more importantly, you cannot grow yourself. You cannot grow infinitely. There is a cap, and that's okay. You also cannot grow at the speed of light. There is a speed, and that's okay. And these companies are hitting that wall hard this year. Their finances haven't tanked. They've normalized. People aren't spending $30, $40, $50 a month on webcomics every month anymore, because they have jobs to go to and bills to pay and places to be, and the cost of living has gone up. And instead of Webtoon, Webcomics App, Tapas adapting to these situations, providing newer ways to be accessible, better ways for people to essentially spend their money with them, they continue to run the exact same schemes of monetization, the exact same schemes of financial schemes, and hope that you will just pay them anyway, even though it might be a significant risk to you, your safety and your well-being, even though it might cost you more than you can afford to spend, because they are dumb. They're run by fucking idiots. They're run by capitalist morons. I hope I've never been secretive about this, but that is the genuine reason. This is the truth, unfortunately. And the only way this changes is with great upset in the industry. If you ever wondered why I'm such a fucking hardcore global comics caper, why I'm always sitting there talking about how much I want them to do well, it's because literally anything is better than the shit that we're dealing with now. Anybody shows up, changes the game, revolutionizes the space, hell, even just takes away some money from them, and they have to shift. They have to change, and they have to accept that the infinite growth that they were hoping for does not fucking exist. Or maybe they don't change, but at least they die. And then when they die, there will be an alternative for us. A place to go that is hopefully better. That's the reason why I'm so pro global comics. And I'm going to be upfront about it right here, right now. It's not because I'm friends with Chris. It's not because they pay me money. It's not because of anything other than the reality that I know that if we don't get something else than what we currently have, we are going to be fucked so hard. No lube, no foreplay. and I just don't want that to happen to us. That's like my deal, at least. That's my whole thing. Sorry, I just realized what I said. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh God. So yeah, support other platforms, support indie creators, and support me, your indie creator of the year, Nennington the Third. You can go to my, because if you want to support me, you can go to my Patreon, patreon.com/webcomics hub. Thank you to everyone who gave money last stream, but I want you to know that you are better up giving money to my Patreon than you are giving it to YouTube, because YouTube takes 50% of it. So you can give me money on Patreon. You can like and share my videos with your friends. Share snippets, share parts, clip it. I don't care how you get it to people. Just let them know what's going on, because it's really important that they do, right? And look forward to more things that I will be making in the coming months. Hopefully, we will have, I think next week we'll do another, you know what? Tomorrow we'll do another chill reading stream. Tomorrow we'll do another chill reading stream. So if you have some suggestions of comics you would like me to read, it would be great if you got them ready tomorrow, because it's my birthday. I'll do a relatively early stream, but it will be a chill one, where we just stream for like an hour or two, talk about comics, read comics, have a nice, easygoing time. Because I'm watching Japanese baseball all morning tomorrow, so I will not be available, but I will be available in the evening. Because that's what I do on my birthday. I watch Japanese baseball, and I eat chicken and I eat cake. Because Tyler wants me to eat cake. So yeah, thank you all for supporting the boy. I'm so happy whenever and also please, you guys, when you guys do well, please tweet about it more. I'm so happy when I see people doing really well. I saw that Paris got shouted out by Webtoon. Yeah, like, great job, Paris. Great job, Paris. I'm so proud of you. I saw that you got shouted out by Webtoon. I'm so very proud of you. And I would love to know when you guys are doing well, because I'm your biggest fan. I will always be your biggest fan. Thank you for coming today. Remember to pump the stock, patreon.com. Remember to like, remember to share, remember to subscribe. You know, remember to follow. Remember to do all the good things. Thank you to all the stinky names going down the screen right now. These are my patrons, lovely people. You can become a patron from as little as $1 a month. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Pizza's on me. That was very fun. So stupid. Thank you, Jenna. Now, Jenna, go and watch the Tapas video. Jenna, you better watch the fucking Tapas video. I swear to God. It's 2 videos ago, Jenna. You can do this for me. Give me your comments. I literally waited for your comment on that video, Jenna. I waited so hard. I saw your Instagram reels, by the way. They're very funny. I appreciate it. Heffy is also my friend. Heffy is now also my friend. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the happy birthdays today. So many happy birthdays today. Thank you to Mark, my boyfriend from Denmark. So beautiful. Heffy is also Festus, my new best friend. Frankly, truth based. Thanks, Tron. I appreciate the happy birthdays today. I really do. All right. Good night, everyone. I love your faces.